What's up everybody, Noah from Stage 3 Motorsports here, and today we're going to be doing kind of a overview and a first look at the new Edge CTS3 Insight Monitor. Now, this is obviously going to be a replacement for the CTS2, and they've basically just added some refinements. They obviously changed the device itself, so it's got a 5-inch touchscreen, full color display. There's been some improvements to the actual menus and the visual look of everything. The processing power and all that has been improved as well. So there's a couple different things that they tweaked here, and when they sent us one, we wanted to just take the chance to kind of dive in, get our hands on it, and then in a little bit, we're going to actually plug it into the truck and go through some of those menus and just show you guys what it looks like and get a feel for how this thing operates. Now, right off the bat, let's just quickly talk about what you get in the box. So obviously you're going to have the actual CTS3 device itself, which is a pretty nice, clean looking device. They didn't go crazy with the design on this, and I actually like that. It's fairly minimalist, and it does have this non-gloss, it's almost a semi-gloss or a matte sheen to that screen, which is non-reflective and really nice if you're getting sunlight directly onto it. It keeps it from glaring and makes it a lot easier to see. And then it doesn't look silly on the dash either. Sometimes these things get covered in buttons and chrome trim and all sorts of random little doodads that really look a little out of place in a vehicle. So you've got your device. Then you're also going to get the OBD2 cable to plug into the back of it, which is pretty standard. Then you're going to have the suction cup window mount. This is also something where if you had a smooth, flat little mount on the dash, you could stick it to that. You get a little bit of just universal use out of this. And then, of course, you're also going to have a little USB cable to connect your device to the computer, and that's how you're going to be able to upload it with new software, or down the road, once they have the Evolution version of this, that's a lot of times where you'll get the updates for the new tunes and things like that. So with those, you're also going to get some stickers, instruction manuals, the warranty cards, all that little stuff will be in the box with it as well. But for the most part, this is going to be the base of the kit. Now, as I previously mentioned, this is the Insight version of this device, and they're working on getting the Evolution out, but at the time of shooting this, it's not out yet. So what that means is this is just a monitor, and it's not going to run tunes. We're not going to be able to tune the vehicle or change tire size or alter boost or anything like that. This is strictly just for pulling up gauges, and it's going to basically read any information it can pull off the computer from OBD2. Boost being one of those things. You can also look at internal air temperatures. You're going to be able to look at your timing. You're going to be able to see just general info that if you want it displayed on a different monitor, you can. So your speed, your RPMs, things like that can all be pulled up. And then there's also a lot of functionality with this that can be added through Edge's EAS system that they have, where you can plug in other sensors, or you can actually connect things like off-road lighting to this device, and you're going to be able to use a switch panel that's built into the screen. So there is some cool kind of accessorization that can happen with this thing to bring out a little bit more functionality on top of that. So with all the detailed talk out of the way, let's get this thing plugged into a truck and take a look at some of the menus and the features. Okay guys, so we just hooked this thing up to our little 2019 Ranger, and it's just going through a quick little boot up. I have the key turned on to accessory, so it should output some information. I just don't have the engine actually started. First thing here, pretty similar layout to what you're gonna see on some of their older devices with just this main home screen, it looks like. We'll go right off the bat, just hit Gages and Logging here. So this is where it's going to start reading the actual vehicle computer through that OBD2 cable, and that's where it's going to pull the majority of its information, like I said earlier. All right, we've got some tutorial screens kind of explaining swiping down from the top for some of the customization and your little data log record button. And then swiping up from the bottom is going to give you some of these other options for the tuning if you had a device equipped with it, which this one is not, or diagnostics, performance testing, EAS, all that good stuff. We'll just hit continue. So then right here, we've got kind of the main screen. This is actually the one you see on the front of the box and stuff too. And there's a few different bits of information. Obviously in the center there, RPM, we're not getting anything right now because it's not started, but you can get vehicle speed from there. You can get your engine coolant temp. There's going to be, IATs, lots of different stuff. You can change everything that's shown here. If you didn't want battery voltage in the corner and you wanted boost there or something like that, that can all be adjusted. So this stuff you can see, even if you start by swiping down, there's theme settings, layout, wallpaper, so you can kind of dive right into changing some of this up. Take a quick look at the wallpaper. Yeah, so there's standard carbon one. They got flames and all the other little graphic designs for the back. And then theme settings, I believe this is just going to allow us to change the accent colors around that. Yeah, so we've got bar color, alert zone color, warning zone. A lot of little different things you can change here to kind of suit the look that you want for your vehicle. So if we wanted to make that red, we could keep it blue, yellow, stuff like that. Blue actually looks pretty good, but we'll go back out of here. And then for the layout, open that up. So once again, they're going to give you another little tutorial screen here. I'll leave it enabled for now, but this is going to allow you to go in and choose what 3 screens you want, because you'll see that you can actually swipe sideways through these. And each of these screens can offer up a little bit different information, or either more or less info depending on what you want. So you could have something here like that first screen with a bigger RPM gauge, and then have some other stuff with some more detailed info that's just broke down into straight numbers if you're really trying to figure out very, very, you know, pinpointed information on your vehicle. So there we go, back out to this one. So once again, you'll see if I swipe across, then we've got our second screen. This has a little bit different gauge layout. A lot of similar information here with the, you know, the load, engine RPM, speed, all that is dialed in. But if we push one more over, then once again, you're gonna get even more information in here. And like I said, there's a lot of random stuff where you can see, you know, what percentage of throttle you're putting into it. You can check where your timing's at. You're going to be able to see your fuel level. You know, there's all sorts of just little nitpicky things you can get into. So you can pull up quite a bit of info with these devices, but depending what you want here, obviously that's all customizable. Now at the bottom, one of the things I actually didn't mention when I was talking about this on the bench, but it's a pretty cool, important feature here, is the vehicle diagnostics. So you'll see if I tap that button, it's going to jump in, and this thing will work as kind of a troubleshooting tool or scan tool where you can pull up those DTCs. So if I hit trouble codes here, we're going to check our truck. There's none available, which is good because it's a pretty new truck, so we'd be concerned if there was. But what it'll do is if you do have that check engine light on, it'll show up here. You'll be able to read and see why that light is on, what the actual code is. It usually gives a little bit of information to it, and then you can also clear those from this device. So that's definitely a handy thing to have. On any vehicle, it's good. On a vehicle that you've modified or maybe are a little bit more concerned about, then this can be super handy. You know, on our 2019 Ranger, we're probably not going to be running into a lot of DTCs right now, but it is good functionality nonetheless. Now with that, you'll see they also have this little performance test button here. I'll let this load up. So this is going to allow you to run 0 to 60, 0 to 100, quarter mile, eighth mile, and you can save a lot of information on this for your best times or whatever you want to do. It usually does kind of like a little starting tree. Yeah, there you go. So you can see your time and actual speed, and it'll give you the lights and everything to do it, which is kind of just a fun feature for the device. Once again, I don't know that our Ranger is going to set any world records here, but it's fun to play around with. And if you have this on something like a Mustang, then you're probably going to get a lot more use out of that. And of course, over here we have Eas Settings, which is going to be those plugins I was talking about to add some switches or, you know, run off-road lighting or things like that through this device if you have those accessories. And lastly, we've got just a general settings page, and this is going to be where you're going to go to change, you know, some of the main display settings as far as brightness or audio output, connecting it to Wi-Fi, you know, updates. All of this is going to be just pretty general stuff that you'd expect, but it's all quick and easy access. And I will say right off the bat, one of the things that I noticed with this, just kind of talking in terms of first impressions, is the screens and stuff seem to move pretty fluidly. Some of these devices are a little laggier than others, but this one actually is pretty responsive for the most part. And then the resolution of the screen and the colors look really sharp. This one does feel like it's actually a upgrade over the CTS3 and just the visual look and the way that screen projects. So I do like that it's modern enough that it doesn't look out of place in a vehicle that's a 2019 or a 2020. One other thing is we have it on the little windshield mount, and it's pretty sturdy. If I shake it with a little bit of force, it hangs on there. It's not going to just wiggle around or make noise. So I'm fairly impressed with how well that's sticking onto the windshield. And then the only thing you really have to manage is that one cable out the back for the OBD2, because that's going to have to be connected all the time to have information coming to it. But you can run that cable down along the side of your dash or through that little panel just to keep it out of the way. So overall, you get a pretty clean looking little setup here. Just going through everything, I'd say probably one of the only little gripes I can think of right off the bat, just with first impressions, is that some of the features don't necessarily seem like they're huge improvements or changes over the previous generation, just in the functionality that it offers. A lot of this stuff is the same stuff that you'd see and be able to read on a CTS2. And so in the price range that it's in, I don't know that you're necessarily getting a huge jump in all the functionality, but it does operate pretty smoothly. And like I said, you are getting a better screen and you're getting a few little updates there. So if you were interested in one of the older models, this may be worth the upgrade just to have something that looks better in your vehicle and just works a little bit more smoothly. So guys, that's going to be a wrap on this little overview and first impressions for the CTS3. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you're looking for some more information on this device, definitely head down in the description below and click that link. It's going to shoot you over to our website. You can find out a little bit more info on this, or if there's some questions that you have that should help you answer them. And as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.